A few weeks ago I made a video about buying someone's €35 Middle-earth strategy battle game collection. This is mostly vintage stuff, some metal miniatures, some plastic ones. The full video can be checked out right there. And while I believe we made a great deal on this is nothing more than a half-assembled, unpainted, sometimes broken pile of shame. So let's set a goal. Let's turn this €35 mess of a collection into something that we can be proud of, and more importantly that I can play my very first game of Middle-earth strategy battle game with. Let's go.
So I decided to make a little series out of this second-hand box. Make a video every time that I make progress on it, but first things first though, let's identify and organize what we have. So this first sprue here is definitely Rohan. We see the horse iconography here. And someone even pointed it out in the comments last time that I was wrong. I said Gondor, but of course it is Rohan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these out in piles right here. See how much I have for each faction and then decide what to do first. This definitely looks like Uruk to me, Isengard. These are also Isengard. They go here. These are just some horses, which I assume are going to go to the Rohirrim. And well, yeah, that basically confirms it. We have some Rohan riders, some horse riders. We can see some more Rohan iconography. So these go to the Rohan pile. And we got some more horses, which go there. I'm going to get to all the metal miniatures a little bit later. Let's keep these aside for now. Because first, let's get the last sprue. Ooh, I do see an Uruk Hai hero here. There's a broken bow right there. I think these are Last Alliance because these are humans. And these are elves. So I think this is just the Last Alliance sprue. So I could potentially play them as Rivendell. I think that's okay. But again, do let me know in the comments if I'm getting anything wrong or help me identify what I have here. The next thing that we're going to look at is some of the assembled miniatures. Like this one, because this is Moria. So it seems like we have a lot of small little bits of factions here. So we have Rohan, we have Isengard, and let's start a little pile of goblins here. Some of these needs repairing, as you can see. I want to get all of these in a state that I can prime them. Choosing one faction for today, prime them up, maybe paint a little bit. And, you know, go from faction to faction in the rest of the episodes of this new series. Goblins. This one is half painted and missing a shield. I hope I can find the shield, but if not, we're probably able to kit bash something from this. Got another archer here. And another swordsman. Here's another spear guy, pretty much painted up. And yet another one. And I think this is the last Moria goblin that I found. So we have 12 of them. This is quite a nice group. I think we're going to start with this one. But first, let's just organize the rest of this box, lay them out with the sprues and see, you know, everything that we got going on. This is an Uruk with a broken sword. Rohan, Last Alliance, but definitely broken up, missing a foot, missing the sword. Maybe cool for some kit bashing, but I'm not sure if we can get use out of this one. And here we have another Rohan, this one with a spear. Last Alliance, one of the only Rohan models that's actually painted up. And last but not least, we have this Rohan Archer, which is the last of the plastic ones. Let's take a look at what we have so far. We got 2 sprues of Uruk Hai. One of them is already assembled. And these sprues combined with this dude makes for 20 Uruk Hai, which is pretty good. We also have a good chunk of Rohan sprues. And including the ones that were already assembled and the sprue, that makes for about 12 infantry guys and 6 cavalry. Now this Last Alliance sprue, including the 2 already assembled miniatures, probably the least of my interest at the moment. I'm probably just going to choose between one of these 3 factions to start with, but not before we take a look at the metal miniatures that came in this box. Because obviously we can fill out some of the factions a little bit more. For example, with this Uruk Hai captain and 2 of the named characters. But wait, there is more, because we have Saruman as well, going into the Isengard faction. And almost forgot about Lurtz, also going into the Isengard faction. Now, we might have a problem because I think I am missing the upper half of Saruman's staff, but I believe we can fix this, you know, maybe with a stick, a little bit of green stuff. Yeah, and we also got a couple of very cool heroes. Gandalf the White on Shadowfax, we got Legolas, we got Aragorn, we also got Boromir, but that's for a later video. Let's focus on one of these factions. And I found this one, which I think is a Rohan captain. Let me know in the comments if that is right. So yet another one for Rohan, and now we're going to have to choose between these 2, or these 3 actually. I could also go for the goblins that are already assembled, but you know, I kind of feel like building and assembling some of these models. So which is it going to be? Isengard or Rohan? Let's roll some dice. 1-2 Isengard, 3-4 Rohan. It's a 2. Most of the Isengard minis were in a good state, but some needed repairing. Really just a matter of enhancing the bond with a bit of ultra thin plastic cement. This one is by Tamiya. I love this one, I've been working with it for a long time and kinda gives me that nostalgic feeling from building old model kits back in the day. These Uruk Hai sprues are really simple, like most of the older games workshop kits. In fact, most of them don't even need assembly. Just clip them off of the sprue, clean up the little knobs, and we're done. Assembling plastic miniatures is definitely not my favorite part of the hobby, so I'm glad we're done. Let's move on to some of the metal kits that came in this vintage mystery box. We're starting off with a little problem that we have, because Saruman is missing a hand and actually the upper part of his staff. I decided to green stuff it a little bit. I am really not that good at green stuff, but I'm doing my best here and I'm going for fine, not perfect. Okay, so there was a little bit of green stuffing. Haven't done that in a while, and well, it's not perfect, but it's alright. And alright is good for me. Let's lay these out and prime them up. I decided to use a black primer on these because I knew I was going to dry brush most of the Uruk Hai. And I did that with a base color of Lead Belcher by Citadel. And using only downstrokes, we get the effect that I am looking for. Now next up was the Uruk Hai skin, and I used Blood Reaver Flesh as a base color, and after that I wanted to tint it a little bit more towards that red. For that I used Instant Colors by Scale 75. I did an entire review on the line of Scale 75 Instant Colors, which can be checked out in the right hand side of the corner of this video. Now another one of my favorite tools in my hobby toolbox is Rust Streaks by AK Interactive. I kinda stipple it on, but sometimes go all out on it. The cool thing about Rust Streaks is that you can reactivate it, take it off if you want to make it look grungy and nasty. Now the last thing that I wanted to do is to highlight the miniature's muscles a little bit. It's Tuskgore Fur by Citadel. Really easy, just highlight the raised areas, and I think for a 10 to 15 minute paint job we did a pretty good job. I use Geek Gaming Scenics as a basic material, and well, there we have it. That is the Uruk Hai Mini. So, as you could see in the video, I am painting these dudes up very, very fast. This is not going to be my main army, but it is going to be a nice force for someone to get into the game with, and very, very handy to have in my collection, I think. I'm going to finish these next week and make another video about them and do a little army showcase. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is a pretty spontaneous idea, just, you know, getting that box out, that pile of shame that I bought off someone, and just start painting them. I've not been painting a lot of miniatures lately, and this really helps with kind of setting a goal for myself to finish these guys and then finally have, you know, just something new, but something that was on the shelves, you know, working on the pile of shame, basically. Again, thanks for watching. Maybe leave a comment, and I will see you guys later.